Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024 is now called to order. Before we begin our meeting, I'd like to remind everyone that we welcome your input and respect your right to voice your opinion. However, this council has a right and responsibility to maintain and enforce content-neutral rules of decorum. We expect speakers and members of the audience to abide by these rules. The display of signs or placards, as well as heckling or outbursts from the audience, will not be tolerated. Individuals who violate these rules will be subject to removal by sheriff's deputies. If we have repeated or continuous disruptions, we may need to recess and clear the council chambers, at which point all members of the public may be required to leave the building and may access the meeting via live stream. Tonight, we will hear from 30 speakers who have signed up, who will be selected at random. Again, we will be strictly adhering to the 2-minute time limit. When you hear the bell, this is the conclusion of your comments. Parking vouchers are being provided for attendees who park in the attached garage, but please note that these parking vouchers are only valid for those with a valid parking ticket. If you fail to present a parking ticket upon exiting the garage, your voucher will not work, and you will be required to pay the $50 lost ticket fee. Finally, at the request of the Sheriff's Department, we ask that attendees please take a seat during the meeting and not loiter in the aisles or at the back of the chamber. If all seats are occupied, overflow attendees can watch the meeting via the monitors directly outside the chambers. At this time, Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 5:04 p.m. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Turner.
Present.
Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Mr. Byrne.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Present.
Council President Jones.
Here.
You have a quorum.
All right, at this time, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, Madam Clerk, is anyone signed in for public comment?
Daniel Borison.
My name is Daniel Borison. I'll be very brief. I am practically embarrassed that we have to be here meeting after meeting after meeting to counter some of the, what I would consider crazy talk supporting terrorist groups. I just want to thank you guys for listening to everybody, for being patient, and for really supporting the American governmental process. You got so many more important things to discuss on this meeting, and I don't want to take any of your time other than saying thank you.
Francois Jacobs.
Hi, my name is Francoise Jacobs. I really do want to thank each and every one of you. And I echo Dan Borison's comments. It is a little silly. I know I teach first through fifth graders, and one of the kids said to me, I don't know if you know this, but October 7th is the English date, but the actual Hebrew date of the attack was called Simchat Torah, which means the happiness of the Torah. And every single year we go through the cycle of reading the entire Bible, and when we finish, we have a big celebration. And she said to me, you know, this year, when it is Simchas Torah, which is actually in a couple of days in October, after October 7th, she said, are we going to be allowed to dance with the Torah? Are we allowed to be happy this year? And I said, wow, that struck me for a second grader to say, and it really hit my heart. And I thought for a long time before answering her, and I said, absolutely, we have to be happy, we have to continue, we have to go on. And so I echo Dr. Borison's comments because it is so taxing on us and so difficult for us to come up here week after week, and I'm sure for you also to be listening to this week after week, to have to defend ourselves about an attack that we did not ask for and we did not begin, and we are certainly upset over. Any lives that are hurt or happening at this time, of course, but we didn't, as Billy Joel said, we didn't start this fire, right? This is not for us to have started, and so we would like to end, and we would not like to take up any more of your time. And I just thank you for all of your help.
Lou? Good evening. I'm here to say that I fully support the nominees in our last meeting going through lots of the important issues in our community, with or without a financial product. I do appreciate Mr. Strong giving 3 important points about housing. However, I would like all of you to consider extend those 3 points into rental housing choices as well. Funding can never be not enough because in the past, lots of people refused to think about all these options. That's why lots of the public policy becomes the obstacles in the community for lots of important work we could have done starting maybe even last century. And I hope we can get on this good point and let us to become one community and working things out for all the people in this community. Putting issues on other people's fault or financial products is not that constructive. Finding solutions within our range under our control and working on taking out the obstacles set by the Ohio State House is the way to go. The 3 housing choices we have, there are obstacles put on by the Ohio State House, and this is the reason why nowadays we have way more people in mass incarcerations and in homelessness. They would not be enjoy the housing program itself as a homeowner. They do need a step in the middle to be renters for a while. Please continue the good work. Thank you.
Sherry Sachs.
I want to thank you for once again allowing me to provide public comment today. My name is Sherry Sachs. I'm a 44-year resident of Cuyahoga County, currently serving on University Heights City Council. As a people subjected to genocide throughout history, Jews do not need others to define the term for us. My father survived the Holocaust, and my family was murdered in that actual genocide. On September 5th, County Executive Chris Ronayne emphasized in the State of the County address that officials would not divest from Israel bonds. I applaud and appreciate Executive Ronayne and the members of this council for continuing to do what is best for Cuyahoga County, continuing to invest in Israel bonds, and I ask you to increase the county's investment in Israel bonds. I also want to recognize your courage to withstand being coerced by pro-Hamas sympathizers, relentless in their harassment, gaslighting, moral equivalency, historical revision, and perverse atrocity inversion. By taking the crucial step rescinding the resolution avoiding divestment, you have prevented our county from starting down Hamas's destructive path of its chartered mandate to annihilate Israel. Israel has the right, like everyone else on the planet, to act against terror. Today marks the 353rd day since October 7th terrorist massacre and abductions committed by Hamas, who started the war. Today also marks the 352nd day since October 8th, when Hezbollah terrorists started launching thousands and thousands of rockets indiscriminately into Israel with actual intentions of genocide. Hezbollah's deliberate action violates UN Security Council resolutions establishing a military-free zone south of the Litani River. This multi-front war can and immediately end when all hostages are released and Iranian terrorist proxies, including Hamas and Hezbollah, surrender. It is outrageous that there are still 97 hostages in Gaza,
Thank you, Ms.
including
Sherry.
Americans. Thank you.
Ann Bellamy. Ann Bellamy.
Hi, Council. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ann Bellamy. I graduated from Shaker Heights High School in the School of Applied Social Sciences. I returned to Cleveland a year ago after 35 years in Minnesota. I reside in Cleveland Heights. About myself, I am compelled to try to find out what is true. I guess we all try to do that, no matter how inconvenient that is. Those of us horrified by Israel's slaughter of Palestinians object passionately to the county's investment in Israel. Sadly, some believe Israel has become a rogue state. In complicity with the United States, they are also raining terror on the Lebanese. I am sure you are aware of this and the possibility these actions by Israel may lead to a wider war in the Middle East. In our efforts to persuade you to stop or not renew these investments, we have tried various approaches, informing you of the death toll, appealing to your compassion for the Palestinian and now Lebanese suffering. We have inflicted deafening noise on the council and shamed the council, specifically Chris Ronayne, to no avail. I want to raise the specter of how you will feel as this worsens and eventually ends. I am almost 80 years old. I have my share of regrets and incidents where I did not act with integrity. These haunt me when I least expect it. Collaboration in murder and genocide are likely to haunt you all. Another question is this: how do you want to be remembered? It is likely not too late to change course, no matter how inconvenient it is. Please stop investing in Israel. Do not renew investments and do not make new investments. Use this tax money to improve life in Cuyahoga County. Thank you.
Dale Snyder.
Hello, how y'all doing? I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity.
Mr. Schneider, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Dale Snyder. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Again, thank you for the opportunity. I just want to take this time to bring to the forefront some issues that I've been dealing with. I'm proud to say that I am a citizen of Cuyahoga County, specifically 86 and Superior. I am a native here, one that started out young, rambunctious, ran into some problems, and now I'm back in the community. Being back in the community, I realized that there were some obstacles that I had to overcome, and I didn't have any help to overcome them. I want to not just come and gripe up and complain, but see what kind of partnerships, what kind of camaraderie that we have to help fight the fight of recidivism. I am a graduate since I've been home, a business owner since I've been home, a father, a son, a brother, active in the community with some of my brothers who are active as well. Again, I'm not sure this is the first time for me, a first step for me to work and partner directly with the city. So I'm just looking for any opportunity to further, not a personal gain, but a gain for the community at large.
Kenneth
Before
Griffin.
you, Madam Clerk, Mr. Snyder, if you would leave your contact information with the clerk at some point, leave your contact, and we'll see what we can do. If recidivism is something you're passionate about, we'll see what connections we can make for you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Continue, Madam
Kenneth
Clerk.
Griffin.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth Griffin, and I'm here this afternoon because, for the simple fact, Cuyahoga County has failed just not me, but my closest friend and a system that we come back to after being incarcerated. I was incarcerated for 33 years. I've been out for 62 days. And when I came out, everyone closed the door on me in Cuyahoga County when it came to assistance. I have no medical insurance. I tried to get food stamps. No one would give me food stamps. My wife just got the paperwork the other day and said we was denied. And we was denied because now I have a job. I work for the city of Cleveland. I go around, I clean up the dump sites, the illegal dump sites. I pick up tires all over the city, and I can't get no medical insurance. I can't get no one to help me. It's imperative that we look at these things for guys that's coming out of prison. Because the guys that's coming out of prison, we don't have that shot that they saying we have in prison. Because I got with a halfway house in Youngstown, Ohio, and the lady told me I was out 2 days, and she said, if I don't have $1,200 by Friday, I have to leave. Now, I have good support. I have a wife, I have close friends, and I have a family. But what about the guys that's coming behind me that don't have no support? What about those guys? And we talk about getting recidivism down. It's imperative that we take a look at that, gentlemen. Mr. President.
Mark Ashid.
Thank you, Council. My name is Mark Ashid. 8,000 rockets have been fired on Israeli citizens by Hezbollah terrorists in southern Lebanon since October 8th. There was a war declared on Israel the day after the worst terrorist attack in the country's history and the worst murder of Jews since the Holocaust. Tens of thousands of Israeli civilians have been displaced because of the constant rocket fire. No country would live with that threat. There are no disputes over homeland. There are no conflicting narratives in this conflict. Hezbollah is determined to kill Jews and destroy Israel. Their stated charter, much like Hamas's, is to destroy Israel and expel any Western influence from the region. They pursue that first goal by assembling hundreds of thousands of rockets to threaten Israeli civilians, thousands of which they've launched. They pursue the second by bombing American embassies and U.S. Marine barracks in Lebanon in the 80s. They are responsible for more American deaths than any terrorist group aside from al-Qaeda. That's why the United States supports Israel's actions against Hezbollah. Israel has killed terrorist masterminds who are directly responsible for killing Americans. They've been tremendously precise in their actions and have made clear this is not a war against Lebanon or the Lebanese people, but against the Iranian transplant into their country. They've managed to create chaos within the terrorist group's communication system by targeting pagers and walkie-talkies with nearly zero collateral damage, which is truly a military feat. Israel has a commitment to protecting civilian life and defending their people. That is the value that the U.S. shares with Israel, and that is the reason not to cut ties with Israel and not to allow bodies like city council or county councils to become the courtroom to put Israel on trial. We pray for restoration of peace and quiet on Israel's northern border, and for Hezbollah to respect the United Nations and their resolution to return to 18 miles north of the border and to end this conflict. There is a diplomatic way to end this violence, and we all pray for it. Thank you.
Don Bryant. Don Bryant.
Don Bryant. If Cuyahoga County could invest in democracy, would they? I doubt it. Right now, we're supporting apartheid Israel that is attacking democracy. Apartheid Israel has been attacking democracy for decades, but we'll stick with since 2018 in Gaza. When the Great March of Return was occurring, this was a nonviolent demonstration. People walked to the borders of Gaza, where you see Israel, and they were shot by Israeli sniper fire, funded by the U.S. government. What else? Attacking democracy. Imprisoning political activists. We've often heard, where are the Palestinian leaders? Who would lead? Where are the Palestinian Gandhis? They're in Israeli prison and jails. shooting and killing journalists. This is anti-democratic, is it not? There's been 137 journalists killed in Gaza since in the past year. And recently, Israel has shut down a journalism office in Ramallah, Al Jazeera. They even ripped down and shot the picture of Shireen Abu Akleh, a journalist that they had murdered a few years ago. Ripped down her picture. What else? Okay, so now, besides killing democracy in Palestine, now Israel is accused of terrorism by former CIA director and defense secretary Leon Panetta, right? He accused Israel of terrorism by rigging thousands of walkie-talkies and pagers, killing at least 37. Why is this terrorism? Because it attacks the supply line. How ingenious, right? Apartheid Israel is a terrorist mastermind, right? And you're supporting them. Thanks.
Razel Michelot. Razel Michelot.
Good afternoon. My name is Razel Michaelo, and I live in Cuyahoga County. Thank you for the opportunity to address this council. This is my third time here, and I have heard the word genocide tossed around like a hot grenade. What happened to innocent Israelis October 7th was genocide. It was a plan to eradicate Jews from southern Israel. Israel is fighting a war in self-defense. This could all end if Hamas and the Gazans return the hostages. But we are not here today to talk about the Middle East. We are here to discuss what is good and right for our county. Israel bonds have generated income for our residents. Don't be swayed by those who oppose this investment. Keeping our county healthy is what is most important. Thank you.
Rochelle Roth.
Hi, my name is Rochelle Roth. I'm a resident of Cuyahoga County. I want to thank all of you for patiently listening to these conversations. I know that international affairs really isn't on the top of the list for Cuyahoga County, so we appreciate it. There's a vocabulary being used by pro-Palestinian protesters that are code words for deep hatred of Israel and Jews. From the river to the sea, this is not a chant that will free Palestine. It is a call to arms to eradicate Israel and replace it with Palestine. Gaza has been free since 2005. There was a path to peace before October 7th. The Oslo Accords offered Palestinians free and independent rule of Gaza and the West Bank. Israel withdrew completely from Gaza in 2005. Since then, billions of dollars were supplied to Gaza to help its citizens. Instead, the terrorist organization Hamas hijacked the funds to purchase weapons, build over 300 miles of tunnels, and indoctrinate its population with dreams of conquering Israel. Hamas's charter calls for the destruction of Israel. Hamas, in addition to all of the unspeakable crimes they have committed against the Jewish people, have committed an even greater crime against their own. They have turned innocent Palestinian people into politically expendable propaganda pieces. Hamas has held power in Gaza for nearly 20 years. In that time, they have built a network of underground tunnels, and they have fired over 100,000 rockets, bombs into Israel. Hamas knew that their brutal attack on October 7th, that it killed and mutilated innocent Israelis, would result in a military response. They continue to reject offers to return the Israeli hostages in exchange for a ceasefire. Israel wants peace. Israel wants security. Thank you.
Jason Williger.
Thank you all so very much. I'm Jason Williger, proud Cuyahoga County resident. Grateful to all of you for your work on behalf of our citizens. I want to talk about what's scheduled to happen on the street at 6:30 tonight. It is, and I'm going to read directly so I'm not misquoting. Join us as we host a vigil for the martyrs of Lebanon following today's Cuyahoga County meeting at 6:30 p.m. And then they go on to specifically reference the targeting of the Dahia area of Beirut, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. But among the folks who were killed in the targeting of that area of Beirut were most of the upper echelon of Hezbollah commanders, including an individual whom the United States had a $7 million bounty on his head because he was directly involved in the murder of U.S. Marines in Beirut in 1983. So if you leave here tonight and you see that vigil going on outside, I want you to know what you're looking at. You're looking at people mourning terrorists who killed Americans. Thank you so very much for not giving in to that kind of despicable behavior, because that's what it is. It is disgusting. We don't mourn terrorists, we defeat terrorists. Thank you for the stand that you've taken.
Howard Davis.
I maintain order. The public speaker is speaking.
Good afternoon. My name is Howard Davis, a Cuyahoga County resident. Once again, I thank the council for the opportunity to speak. The right of freedom of speech we enjoy here, that is at the heart of democracy, is also a core value of Israel, as evidenced by the daily protests and marches. Unfortunately for the rest of the Middle East, arrests and sometimes executions suppress dissent and free speech. Israel recently closed down Al Jazeera, Hamas's Qatari-based propaganda organ, for 45 days. Al Jazeera's response: we're taking you to court. Where else in the Middle East would an enemy's propaganda tool have the freedom to sue in court? It certainly wouldn't happen in Hong Kong either. Right now, over 100,000 Israelis are displaced from their homes because of the war Hamas started and Hezbollah joined in. Families are displaced and lives are interrupted. Consider for a moment if over 500,000 Americans, the proportionate equivalent, had to evacuate because of rocket fire from enemies in Mexico and Canada. That is approximately the entire population of Cleveland and Akron dispersed across the country into temporary shelter. That would be intolerable. Yet Israel is asked not to escalate the problem. Israel is doing what any country would do: protect itself and its citizens. If the hostages kidnapped almost a year ago by Hamas were let go, Israel would be happy to de-escalate. Instead of pressuring Israel, the pressure should be on Hamas, Hezbollah, and their sponsors, Iran and Qatar. I have a son who served in the Israeli army on the Syrian border. In 2011, a few hundred Syrians overwhelmed the Syrian security police and entered Israel. Shots were exchanged, 4 Syrians were shot. My son's unit was the closest one to the incident, and they arrived. When they got there, everybody had fingers on their triggers ready to shoot, and they were screaming at each other. He called for...
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Steve Norris.
My name is Steve Norris, and I'm calling once again for the divestment from Israeli bonds. There's no business as usual in Gaza. The schools have been destroyed, hospitals have been destroyed. I've heard very heartbreaking testimony, trying to watch the healthcare professionals keep it together in order to give a report on, how they were trying to deal with disease outbreaks in Gaza, and to not even have supplies like pain medication in order to, what actually they completely broke down and had to go off screen during this was when children were not only could they not save the lives of the child, they couldn't give palliative care. They weren't able to give painkillers and just had to watch the child die like that. This is the kind of stuff that's going on, and that supplying Israel weapons just prolongs this conflict, and there's no excuse for it. We don't need to be complicit in this. Like, it's unacceptable. So please divest.
Susan Bazan? Susan Bazan? Orson? It's hard to read, sorry. Apologize.
Hi, my name is Susan Borison. I live in Cuyahoga County. I have not been involved in county politics at all. I didn't understand what happened in this room. And every time I come, I'm just so impressed and grateful that we live in a country where not only can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, but people can choose to not stand and still be invited back to be part of this process. I feel like what a privilege to live in the United States and to live in Cuyahoga County and to get to witness all of this support for the community. I'm grateful that you are not going to divest from Israel bonds, and I'm also grateful to see the process and the intention and the attention that you give to everybody. So thank you very much.
Basma Hamid?
Good evening. My name is Basma Hamid. I live in Cuyahoga County for 33 years. This message is to Israel and its supporters. Israel, get out of Palestine. It is not your country. Go exist somewhere else. Our homes, land, and water are not eminent domain for the Zionist settlers and immigrants to come and take it from us, Palestinians in Palestine. Not in 1948, not in 1967 war. You are robbing us Palestinians of everything. We don't have anything left. You are killing us in cold blood, putting us in jail, torturing us, and putting us in jail until we die slowly. You are bombing our homes, burning our crops, including our olive trees. You are occupying our territories. Israel, get out of Palestine. It is not your country. Go exist somewhere else. You should be asking for the right to exist, not in Palestine, but somewhere else. I am here to tell you that Palestine is for Palestinians. We were living in peace prior to 1948, before Nakba came in 1948. Currently, the currency used was the Palestinian pound, which had the same value as the pound sterling before 1948. Palestine was a home for everybody, Arabs, Muslims, Christians, Jews, sharing the Holy Land in Palestine in peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miriam Geronimus?
Good evening. My name is Rabbi Miriam Geronimus. I stand here as a Jew, a rabbi, and a resident of Cleveland Heights. I'm here to speak about Israel bonds. We have all heard the accusation that divesting from Israel bonds is anti-Semitic. As a rabbi and a Jew, I take anti-Semitism very seriously. Most of my family perished in the Holocaust. Even before that, many of my family members were killed in pogroms, anti-Semitic attacks in Eastern Europe, which were common in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Only one line of my family survived European anti-Semitism, those of us descended from my great-grandparents who immigrated to this country as teenagers by themselves in 1903. Not a single member of my family who stayed in Europe survived. I do not take anti-Semitism lightly. Anti-Semitism generally operates by scapegoating Jews. That is, by blaming Jews for problems that aren't their fault, or by claiming that Jews are running and ruining the world. Is it anti-Semitic to say, we won't fund your war crimes? Is it anti-Semitic to demand accountability? The fact that Jews have often been scapegoated does not give Israel a get-out-of-jail-free card for actual crimes they have committed. Critics of divestment often say that divestment holds Israel to a double standard, but that is not what we're asking. We're asking that Israel be held to the same standard and be held accountable for violating international law and human rights. Next week is Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and 10 days later is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. During these holiest days of the year, we are asked to reckon with our mistakes from the past year, to hold ourselves accountable and to make repair. These holidays teach us that we are all imperfect, we all make mistakes, and we are all capable of learning from our mistakes and doing better. This is all that we are asking.
Abram Jacobs. Abram Jacobs.
Avram Jacobs from Beechwood, thank you. I recently listened to a podcast where an Israeli commentator observed that in the past, whenever Israelis felt unsettled, especially when Israel was under attack, they would naturally and reflexively turn to Jews in the diaspora, particularly to Jews in the United States, for support and stability. However, he recently noticed a shift which became evident after October 7th. Now, many Jews in the United States, whether walking to synagogue or on college campuses, feel the same sense of unease. And if Jews in the United States are experiencing this, then certainly Jews around the world, who historically haven't enjoyed the same security, are feeling it as well. He then asked rhetorically, who Jews in the United States can turn to when we feel scared and unsettled? As I reflected on this question, the answer became clear. It's literally right in front of me. It's you, our elected officials. It's the Cuyahoga County Council members, it's Chris Ronayne, it's Brad Cromes, and it's all the law enforcement officers who ensure our safety and freedom. And so, as we approach the high holidays, I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you all for your protection, your dedication to keeping our community safe, and your unwavering support of Israel in its fight against those who seek to destroy it. And because I am also as passionate about local issues as I am about international issues, to the two gentlemen who addressed the recidivism issue, please find me afterwards as well so that we can talk about dealing with this on a grassroots issue while you deal with it on a political issue as well. Thank you all.
Susan Epherson.
I'm Susan Ephraimson, and I just wanted to reflect that we recently recalled the events of 9/11 when Arab terrorists slammed planes into buildings, killing many Americans. And it reminded me of the TSA. We've all stood in those uncomfortable airport lines. Maybe you've missed a flight. We're annoyed at having to empty everything of importance that needs to be into that scanner, or feel exposed when you have to step through that personal scanner. But when we do, no one's angry at the TSA. We don't rail at the U.S. government for infringement of our freedoms. We know that the blame for this situation falls on the terrorists. When we have to remove our shoes, we blame the shoe bomber. So we've heard complaints here that October 7th was justified because they didn't like the checkpoints. But isn't that a little bit like the kid who's on trial for murdering his parents, who's asking for the mercy of the court because he's an orphan? I remember there was a time when only men were searched, but then came a pregnant woman who blew herself up at a checkpoint. Her baby bump was actually a suicide bomb. And I remember the comments made right afterwards that as tragic as that was, now it's going to be worse because now they're going to have to check the women and then they're going to blame the Israelis for doing so. And it wasn't long after that that the first ambulance blew itself up. And then, of course, they turned around and blamed the Israelis and called those human rights violations. At some point, at what point do we hold Hamas and Hezbollah responsible for the results that they wrought with their terror?
Thank you.
Daryl Houston.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Daryl Houston, and I'm a resident of Bedford Heights, and I'm here to talk about the property taxes. I'm a multiple property owner, and I did the research on all of you guys' property tax, and I noticed that nobody's property tax moved at all. So I'm a little concerned about that, okay? And then I'm also concerned about what happened to the COVID-19 money that Imam Buddhist promised that he wasn't going to touch, and he was going to allow the next administration to come in and disperse that money to the small minority businesses in the community. And as a result of that, if you go into the Calgary County community, you have a lot of businesses closed right now, and I'm concerned at what happened to the money. I'm a small minority business. I have a car wash that I hired juveniles in the summer on, and just so happened I was financially able to keep my business open to continue to do the things in the community that's important. So I'm trying to understand from a citizen's point, from a taxpayer's point, what are we doing with taxpayers' dollars? Why are we wasting taxpayers' dollars on frivolous things such as building parks in Beechwood, such as allocating the money that was meant for the community, taking it to the Calgary County Jail? Those things should have already been taken care of. You guys have been doing poor management of everything in this community, and it's time that you guys be held accountable for all of your actions. I'm aggressively seeking to pull records on how you guys dispute or disperse money in this community. I believe there's a lot of fraud in this community based on you guys. I believe that we are being misrepresented based on a lot of you guys on this panel, and it's time that the community understand where to take their anger at, and that's City Council, Calgary County Council, because right now I do not believe you guys are actually working for the people anymore. I don't see it. I don't see it whatsoever. I'm a taxpayer, I'm a two-time owner, and I did 16 years wrongfully in prison, okay? I studied this system to the core, and I'm here to get this system right. And I will not leave until some of you guys are removed and some of you guys go to jail for theft in office. Have a good day.
Mark Sachs.
Okay, good evening. My name is Mark Sack, and I'm a resident of Lyndhurst. This is my 36th year as an educator and teacher at Cleveland Heights High School. First, a point about world history. World history did not begin in 1948. Israel has been the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people for about 4,000 years. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, there's an important education-related resolution that will be considered later today by the council. The resolution is R 2024-0316 and is sponsored by Councilmember Turner and is near and dear to my heart as an educator. This resolution involves the proposal that this council award a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to a fund that supports a program called Seeds of Literacy for adult basic education. For some young adults, this program and others like it, like Seeds of Literacy, may be one of the last opportunities for a pathway to a living wage and to a productive citizenship. I am respectfully requesting that Council unanimously support Councilmember Turner's resolution and in an appropriate legislative way even consider raising its level of financial support for the Seeds of Literacy program beyond the proposed $10,000 investment. I would also like Council to consider a resolution requesting that the terrorist organization Hamas immediate release the remaining 101 hostages being held in Gaza, many of whom may not be alive anymore, and that all parties involved in the Middle East conflict currently initiate a ceasefire following release of those hostages. At this juncture, I would like to make the following commitment. After every Cuyahoga County Executive Council meeting, I will attend or watch in a follow-up email communication to council members. I will make the effort to thoughtfully address any half-truths and any distortion of so-called facts, some of which may even have been boldly and brazenly presented to you today and will be in the future. Okay, I also would like, thank you for your time.
Council President. Council President?
Yes.
We had only a total of 21 speakers today, not 30. I just wanted to record to reflect that. And I also want the record to reflect that Councilmember Simon is in attendance. And that concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we'll have a motion to approve our minutes as presented on today's agenda.
So moved.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving our minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Okay. I'd like to briefly comment on the hearing that took place in the Public Safety Committee last week. It has become apparent that we need a better format for the administration to formally update council and the public on the planning for the new county jail and administrative offices in Garfield Heights. As a first step, I have asked council staff to send questions to the administration in follow-up to last week's Public Safety Committee meeting. And I have spoken to Councilman Gallagher about having these updates scheduled regularly in his committee. And I would encourage all council members to attend these updates if you are able. So at this time, we will have messages from the county executive.
Council President, members of council, it's good to be with you tonight. Let's keep my glasses. Well, first of all, happy Hispanic Heritage Month to all. And I want to say we had a successful welcoming week as a part of National Welcoming Week last week in Cleveland, partnered with Global Cleveland. Good to have, since we opened the Welcome Center, over 2,000 visitors since we opened on February 14th. It's been a great success. Just want to just shout out a couple of staff notables. You all work with persons I want to mention. Robin Martin from Family and Children First Council was awarded the Starting Point Founders Award 2 weeks ago. We're really proud of her. That was an award that went out from daycare, child care providers, collectively recognizing Robin's great work as Family and Children First Council Director. Naila Bird has been recognized by the Norman S. Minor Bar Association, the Legacy Award. That's coming up, but just if you see Naila, give her a congrats. I also want to say we appreciated Cheryl Harris's testimony at the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee 3 weeks ago. She testified on behalf of all of us in our efforts with Consumer Affairs to really work against the issues of consumer scams, frauds, and particularly as they affect our seniors and most vulnerable persons in this community. So appreciate Cheryl Harris's Consumer Affairs testimony from Cuyahoga County to the U.S. Senate Banking and Housing and Urban Affairs Committee. Last week we worked together on the Fatherhood Initiative and was pleased to see that we were able to work with 200 Cuyahoga County schools on a Walk Your Child to School Days, 200 schools. And I was glad to be at one of those schools with Al Grimes and the Fatherhood Initiative. I want to congratulate Canon Medical USA on their new training campus in Mayfield Village. This is a campus that literally will be training medical trainees on imaging and other technology product, which will help obviously with medical care advance, but for Cleveland, Greater Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and Mayfield Village, it's a real win for us to have the inflow of trainees coming from everywhere to the Canon Medical Campus. Today, we welcomed 400 delegates from the Ohio AFL-CIO. They were with us today at the County Hilton, and want to just say thanks for being with us for your 34th biennial conference here in Ohio. And then finally, just want to say congrats to the Guardians clinching the AL Central. Keep on going. Thanks, Mr. President.
Right. Legislation introduced by council, consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2024-0346, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the B-Buzz Baseball League for new baseball equipment from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0347, amending the award made pursuant to Resolution 2022-0170 to authorize the City of Richmond Heights to use the remaining balance of $87,500 for the purpose of the Greenwood Farm Gazebo project from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee. Committee reports in consideration of resolutions of council for second reading.
Resolution 2024-0308, awarding a total sum not to exceed $40,000 to the Building and Leveraging Opportunities Foundation for property rehabilitation from Districts 3, 7, and 9 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
This item will move to the October 8, 2024 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0309, awarding a total sum not to exceed $5,000 to the Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry for the Welcome Home Anniversary Celebration from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0310, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Wall Street Nottingham Development, Inc. for the new headquarters and residential development project from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will also move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0311, awarding a total sum not to exceed $100,000 to the City of Maple Heights for the purchase of property located at 5391 Lee Road from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0312, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland, Inc. for the Saturday Academy program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0313, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Gamma Delta Zetas Helping Others, Inc. for the Cleveland Storks Nest program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0314, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the Karamu House for the Next Generation Capital Improvement Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0315, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the National Council of Negro Women, Inc., Cleveland section for the Missing Women and Children Human Trafficking Awareness and Safety Series from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will also move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0316, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Seeds of Literacy for the Adult Basic Education Program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0317, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Inc. U Resource Foundation, Inc. for the Lifeline Cleveland project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0318, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Harvard Community Services Center for the Grandparents Family Day and Resource Fair from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
All right, we have proposed substitute and
Good afternoon, Council President Trevor McAleer, County Council staff. In your packet is a proposed substitute that would increase the award to the Harvard Community Centers from $10,000 to $30,000. The $30,000 award will be funded $20,000 out of District 9, $5,000 from District 3, and $5,000 from District 7 ARPA Community Grant Funds. The proposed substitute also adds council members Conwell, Sweeney, and Miller as sponsors.
Mr. Chairman, I move acceptance of the substitute, making it the version before the council.
Second.
all right, it's been properly moved and seconded. At this time, is there any discussion on the proposed substitute? There's no further discussion. All those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And with that, this item will also move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee report and consideration of a resolution of council for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Council President, I did not hear a second. Can we clarify?
The second was
Sweeney.
by Sweeney.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-0319, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
Move to adopt. Second. I ask for my colleagues' support on this issue.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of a resolution for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can we again have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0348, amending the 2024-2025 biennial operating budget for 2024 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers, and amending resolution number 2024-0294 dated July 30th, 2024.
Move to adopt. Mr. President and colleagues, this resolution is the regular fiscal agenda of budget amendments. Answers to our questions to OBM are on your desks. Most items are routine, but the following are notable. $250,000 is appropriated for the RTA bus program for our employees. This program was initiated by Council President C. Ellen Connolly and has continued to this day and is being used by more than 500 employees this year. $7,370,659 is appropriated for the upgrades to the new Veterans Service Center headquarters. Money for this project had been transferred but not yet appropriated. $3,293,300 is appropriated to upgrade elevators at the Huntington Park Garage, Justice Center, J. Edna Hunter Building, Metzenbaum Center, and Virgil Brown Building. I recommend passage on first reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2024-0349, confirming the county executive's appointment of Melanie Kintner Knowles upon her taking the oath of office as Director of Sustainability.
This item will be referred to the Committee of the Whole.
Resolution 2024-0350, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the emergency repair of Old Mill Road, 400 feet east of Chagrin River Road, in the village of Gates Mills. Total estimated project cost, $200,000. Also, finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's costs of said improvement.
This item will be referred to the Public Works, Procurement, and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2024-0351, making an award on requisition 12854 to WellPath LLC in the amount not to exceed $7,871,139.54 for healthcare and management services at the Juvenile Court Detention Center for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2024-0352, authorizing a contract with Court Smart Digital Systems, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $528,205.20 for maintenance and support services for the audio and video recording system for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2028.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2024-0353, authorizing a contract with Axon Enterprise, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $20,992,729.28 for a state contract purchase of various hardware, software maintenance, and support used to expedite intelligence gathering and efficiency of response to situations for community safety initiatives for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2024-0303, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires roadway improvements on East 156th Street and Shore Acres Drive in connection with the Euclid Beach Connector Trail in the city of Cleveland. Total estimated project cost, $16 million. Also finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's cost of said improvement. And Council President, if you'd go back at the top to read the heading committee reports.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This resolution is for second reading and the committee reports. This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0305, making an award on requisition 13032 with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $7,640,000 for banking services and related routine payments for the period October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2028. Council President.
And I'll make note that the administration has requested that this item be under second reading suspension. And at this time, I'll make a motion to entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Probably moved in second. All those in for suspending Rule 9D, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Madam Clerk.
I've read the item into the record.
All right. And I will make a motion. Properly moved and seconded.
I'm sorry, the second.
Seconded by Councilman Schron.
And who was the first?
Myself.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-0333, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the resurfacing of various avenues, boulevards,
I'm
roads.
sorry, Madam Clerk. We did not complete that resolution. Yes. We made a motion. Do we want to have any conversation, any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilwoman.
resolution making an award of banking services, is that what we're discussing?
Yes, we are.
Because I was just like, it moved a little too fast for me. This is something that we have been, that has been a piece of dialogue among housing activists in Cuyahoga County for 5 years or more. With the leadership of the county exec's office changing to Mr. Ronayne, this was something early on that you and I began a dialogue with the county exec and his team about. It is incredibly important to take a look at who and how we expend our investment dollars with. While we feel that we're a little old organization, we are really a body that involves in excess of $3 billion of operations a year just for our real estate taxes. And so because of that, and because of all the things that make us a significant, and in the public world, powerhouse of an entity, it became apparent to housing advocates across this county that we need to begin to talk about who we do business with and how we do business with them. I am grateful that the county exec and his team continued to listen to me as I went on kind of Cheryl episodes about the consideration and the needs of things like affordable housing and how we keep housing affordable in Cuyahoga County. In 1977, the U.S. Congress recognized that lenders needed to invest in the communities in which they received deposits. It's called the Community Reinvestment Act. That act has been significant to me and people like the housing director and the development director of this county for most of our careers. The reality is, without us keeping an eye on our lenders and encouraging them with a thumb on the scale to do some investment in the communities we are elected to serve, it won't always happen. And so I am grateful that they did the right thing on the other side of the hall we share on the 8th floor by continuing to listen to the advocates and the council on what is important. Because one of the greatest assets we have in Cuyahoga County is our housing. When family members and friends from the East and West Coasts come for their semi-annual visits, they never can figure out how we live in the homes we own. Even when I say that I'm a former humble public servant and then a nonprofit leader, how do you afford that house? Because in Pasadena, where my father lives, the house is $1.2 million. On the East Coast, where some cousins live, the house is $2 million. So the reality is, and of course the plain dealer just told you all that my house was appraised for tax purposes for $214,000, since they put all of our houses in the plain dealer. The reality, except for you, Mr. Byrne, you pulled a permit, so they couldn't value yours?
Exterior permits.
So the reality is there are very few secrets from elected officials on what we do and how we do it. But what we do know is that providing our constituents with someplace decent to live is incredibly important. So our lending partners, we need to ask them to help invest in our constituents' largest investments, the homes they own, helping them rehab them, and helping them start small businesses. So those are three things that for over 4 years, a special committee spoke about, and I think all 11 of us are committed to making sure that when we invest in significant ways with our banking partners, they invest in significant ways with our constituents. And I'm delighted that the county exec and his leadership team agreed with us on that fact. Mr. President.
Okay. Thank you, Vice President. Again, I just want to first commend you, Councilwoman, for your hard work and due diligence in the subcommittee, community development subcommittee meeting, as you have reviewed the work of those who've had this contract over the last 4 years. I've been on council for close to 14 years now, and I've seen 4 banking contracts. And the opportunity to leverage this contract for the benefit of the community, we're seeing movement. We're seeing movement. I want to acknowledge the administration and the work that they have done to this point on this contract to get greater benefit to the community. But as Councilwoman Stevens said, and we've had the opportunity to share with them, there was opportunity for more, but we need a little more time. So I am in full support of this banking contract again, but there is opportunity, as we have discussed with the administration over the next few months, to see what more can be done. And I look forward to those conversations over the next few months with the administration. So with that, this
Mr.
contract.
President?
Yes. Sure. You feel free to interrupt and have.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to pass it.
We will be voting on it, but you certainly have opportunity to speak. The floor
My
is yours,
bad.
Councilman.
I thought you were.
All is well. The floor is yours.
Sorry about that if I cut you off.
All is well. Go right ahead.
Excuse me, Mr. President, to Mr. Sweeney. There was discussion about holding this, but we came to a gentle person's agreement about some additional conversations that we would have. And therefore, because of the gentle person's handshake, that I had with the chief of staff, and then a follow-up conversation with the county exec. I am moving forward to keep moving forward with this, asking my colleagues to pass this legislation tonight, because we need to keep this county's business moving forward. And there were some things that, some little details that could have gotten caught in the system, and therefore we don't break a system to move forward. We continue to work. And so there are some more conversations that will be had, but we are strong in our commitment to take care of some additional details. And the chief of staff and the county exec both assured me that they would continue to work with us. For those of you who work with me a lot, I sometimes say, will you please hold my hand? And both of those gentlemen agreed to hold our hands as a council to do really good things in the future for our constituents.
Thank you for that. I was just going to say, under your leadership, you pulled this one off, and I want to thank Cheryl for putting her foot down and say we got to deal with this. And we dealt with the administration and Katie Gallagher in particular, and you had made government work. So I'm just applauding the group that's here and looking forward to making the commitment of, because the CRAs from way back when were mostly on paper. Now we're going to have them in real life and making some substantial contributions, and it's only going to get better because of you and under your leadership. So I just want to say thank you.
Councilman.
Yeah, because I'm involved with banking from my own personal standpoint, I get a chance to actually have conversations with a lot of these folks, and I was thrilled that my education improved dramatically because the vice president shared her knowledge and got that education. So I'm pleased that we're making progress, and I think that people are listening outside of this hall. And the irony might be that every one of these groups will improve. And it's not just going to be those who are already performing, which may be at a better level, but it might be that all four of them, which is good for the whole. And so I think that to the president's leadership, the vice president, and for our county executive, I think it is great to see us all on the same page to say the objective is participation in our community. I hate to say it, but I was less than subtle with some of the people I talked about getting off a certain part of their body and get moving. And my subtleness is just kind of quietly having same conversations with some of these same individuals. And I think that they recognize that this is for the good of the whole, for our whole community. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you supported it, but it started, I believe, with the drive for this young lady over here.
I do, Mr. Sweeney is correct. Katie Gallagher. To make sure that we try to stay on track with one another. Government stops moving forward when the parties on either side don't try to find a place to compromise or find a place to move forward. And Katie and I were able, even though some of those conversations went longer than either one of us wanted to, we still kept believing that on both sides of the table, we wanted what was best for our constituents. And as I prepare myself to leave this body, I hope that that will be part of my legacy to this body. That we do not allow things to fall apart because we have differences of opinion, but remember that our constituents are who we were elected to serve. Thank you.
All right. All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0333, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the resurfacing of various avenues, boulevards, roads, and streets located in various municipalities in connection with the 2025-2026 50/50 resurfacing program. Total estimated cost, $5,450,000.
All right, this item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Council President, Council Rule 9C allows for the reading of very similar items by abbreviated titles. Therefore, items 4 through 7 will be read into the record by abbreviated titles if there are no objections.
No objections.
Resolution 2024-0334, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the rehabilitation of Bunts Road from Lakewood Heights Boulevard to Clifton Road in the city of Lakewood. Total estimated project cost $17,600,000.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0335, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the replacement of Miles Road Bridge number 12.10 over the Chagrin River in the villages of Chagrin Falls and Moreland Hills. Total estimated project cost $5,600,000.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0336, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the resurfacing of Alexander Road from Fitzwater Road to Eastern Corporation Line in the village of Valley View. Total estimated project cost, $2 million.
This item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0337, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the resurfacing of Gates Mills Boulevard from Shaker Boulevard to Lander Road in the city of Pepper Pike. Total estimated project costs, $1 million.
This item will also move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0339, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for various maintenance, repair, and operations supplies for the Sanitary Engineering Division for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2026, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $3 million for items A through L.
And this item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2024-0263, approving and authorizing a supplemental lease purchase agreement and related documents, providing for the refinancing of costs of acquisition of real property and facilities, including a convention center hotel facility.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and my colleagues, this is a resolution that allows the county to save several $1 million taking advantage of the recent decline in interest rates and to lower our borrowing costs on the hotel project. I ask for my colleagues' support.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0302, confirming the county executive's appointment of Sarah Parks Jackson upon her taking the oath of office as Director of Housing and Community Development.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Sarah Parks Jackson is a known quantity to us. She has served well in her years here at this county, and we look forward to working with her.
Mr. Chair, can I have my
years to
name
come.
added?
And let's add Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell's name.
I want my
Councilwoman
name added.
Turner.
Sweeney.
Byrne.
Miller.
Everybody.
Strawn, my goodness.
Kelly?
Everybody's taking all the surprise out of the vote. All right. Well, add my name as well, please.
We boil away from it.
All right, so I don't think there's anyone who's left their name out. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
All
All
right.
right. Excellent.
Resolution 2024-0304, authorizing contracts with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $4,750,000 for the purchase of sale and various properties located at 1506 Superior Avenue, Cleveland, permanent parcel number 102-23-027 and 1579 Superior Avenue, Cleveland, and also permanent parcel number 102-23-012 at 1601 Payne Avenue in the city of Cleveland, and permanent parcel number 102-23-031 for items A through B.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
are they swearing her in now, or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think.
That's right. Let's
Swear
make it
her in.
official.
Swear
Yes.
her in.
All right.
Can we get a vote for this first, since we've read it into the
We'll
room?
complete this.
Okay.
Is there a motion for resolution
So moved.
0304?
Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Councilman Byrne, do you have any comments on this?
Just very quickly, John Myers presented this to the committee last week. The budgeted project funds are $2 million from the parking services and $2.75 from the general fund, and I urge my colleagues to support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Council
All right.
President, I
Yes.
was just informed that Ms. Parks Jackson is going to be sworn in after the meeting.
Or after the meeting.
Unless it's
Okay.
your pleasure to do it now. Let's do it together. I want to also introduce Christopher, resident over at UH. Her son is here today with Sarah Parks Jackson, too. So
Is there a
whatever your pleasure,
particular
Council
reason?
President.
I would prefer you do it right now.
Let's do it right now.
I'll see it right in them.
Counselor, do we have a appropriate document? Okay.
Jim Boyle enters the room and messes everything up. I know, he's doing as usual.
Thank you, members of council. Council President, I said to Christopher, I think that might be a record for the most seconds on a motion. I think it was unanimous across the council. So you all know Director Sarah Parks Jackson. Agree with Council President. She's legendary in these places, and we're grateful for her service. And also, again, for your family. Christopher, thank you for being here today. Your husband, Henry, it's just good to have you all give so much of you to Cuyahoga County. And thank you for sharing your mom with us in all these years. And so, Law Director Maniloff, am I good to go? Okay. Are you good to go? All right. Speak now or forever hold. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Right hand. And just repeat after me if you would. I, Sarah Parks Jackson,
Sarah Parks Jackson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold,
uphold,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter
and the Charter
and laws
and laws
of the County of Cuyahoga,
of the County of Cuyahoga,
Ohio,
Ohio,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
diligently,
diligently,
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all of the powers
all of the powers
and duties
and duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as the Director
as the Director
of Housing and Community Development
of Housing and Community Development
in and for the County
in and for the County
of Cuyahoga,
of Cuyahoga,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
Congratulations, Sarah Parks Jackson. Speech? You want to say anything? We'll put the rose right in there. Can you got to be with county council too, so.
Me go home at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well,
I'll be
Okay.
I'll be here. Yes, ma'am.
Resolution 2024-0306, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Trinity Services Group, Inc. for jail food services for the Cuyahoga County Jail System for the period June 15th, 2020 through September 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount of $1,582,200 for a total not to exceed amount of $19,322, it's $19,322,673.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, this was discussed in the Safety Committee. This is by the administration time as they do a go-forward plan with food service for the jail and any potential switch over. So this gives us a buffer so we have food service in the jail going forward, uninterrupted.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Council
No.
President?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I apologize.
There are two
Thank-
nays, mine
I was going to ask for a
Noted that.
clarification of the motion to approve in the second, so,
Okay, so we have two nays.
which are, thank you.
Was there any discussion on the item as well? Any additional discussion? If not, you have you have recorded the vote properly.
So we have Stevens and Turner casting dissenting votes, and I need clarification for the motion to approve in the second, please. I was coughing, so I didn't hear, I'm sorry.
Who made the motion?
For the first and second, please.
Okay, and the second came from?
I didn't even hear the first. Who's that first? Oh, okay, thank you. And the second?
It was me,
Thank you.
I guess.
Moving on, Resolution 2024-0321, accepting the revised rates as determined by the Budget Commission, authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them in the county fiscal officer.
Mr. President, I'll move to adopt.
Second.
And Mr. President and colleagues, we discussed this in Finance and Budgeting Committee, and this fulfills a state requirement to certify the tax rates to be authorized by the county.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Mr. President?
Yes, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I cannot support this legislation today as I believe lowering the inside millage will help our county residents. If we lowered the inside millage to zero, which I know we probably can't do, this would save the county residents a minimum of $40 or most homeowners upwards of $100. Although this doesn't seem like a lot of money, it certainly helps the person struggling to pay their bills or buying food at the grocery store. Unfortunately, the county doesn't have any control over the reappraisal process, but we do have control over the legislation. I understand the county's position that we need this additional revenue to help with our ever-increasing expenses, but the expenses of all county residents also continue to increase every single day. That's why I'll be voting no on this. Thank you.
Further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
And we have the one dissension. All right.
Resolution 2024-0327, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Sheila Wright to serve on the Cuyahoga County Council, Cuyahoga County Citizens Advisory Council on Equity for the term July 15th, 2024 through July 14th, 2027.
Move to adopt. Ms. Wright attended committee to express her interest in being reappointed to the Citizens Advisory Council on Equity. Sheila's been a member of the council since its inception. She discussed the council's work and shared her deep interest in equity-related initiatives. She looks forward to building on the group's momentum through her subcommittee work and public engagement. I ask for your support of her reappointment and request a motion to adopt on second reading, suspension under the rules.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0328, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Stephen Cavanis to serve on the Cuyahoga County Citizens Advisory Council on Equity for the term July 15th, 2024 through July 14th, 2027.
Move to adopt. Mr. Cavanis attended committee, expressed his interest in being reappointed. He's also been a member since its beginning. He shared his personal and professional interest in the council's charge and looks forward to furthering opportunities to improve economic equity in our region. I ask for your support of his reappointment.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0329, confirming the county executive's appointment of Dr. Ronnie Dunn to serve on the Cuyahoga County Public Defender Commission for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt. Dr. Dunn attended committee to share his interest in being appointed to the Public Defenders Commission. He is an associate professor of urban studies at Cleveland State University who researches issues affecting minorities and the urban poor with a particular focus on race, crime, and the criminal justice system. He looks forward to supporting the Public Defender's Office through his role on the commission, and I ask for your support of his appointment.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2024-0330, confirming the county executive's appointment of Darlene Wade to serve on the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging 5 County Advisory Council for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt. Ms. Wade also attended committee to express her interest in being appointed to the Western Reserve Area on Aging 5 County Advisory Council. She shared her personal and professional interest in the work of the Western Reserve Area on Aging. She looks forward to having an opportunity to serve in an advisory role for the organization, and I ask for your support of her appointment.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0331, confirming the county executive's appointment of Mary McNamara to serve on the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging Board of Trustees for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt. Ms. McNamara attended committee and also expressed her interest in being appointed to the Board of Trustees. She serves as the City of Cleveland's Department of Aging Director and has been with the department in various roles since 2008. She looks forward to providing her perspective and expertise in the field as a member of the WRAA Board, and I ask for your support of her appointment.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0332, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Sue Biagianti to serve on the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging Board of Trustees for the term January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Biagianti attended committee to express her interest in being reappointed to the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging. Prior to her retirement, she served as Director of Older Adult Services at the Jewish Family Service Association, where she held a number of roles over her 40-year career with the association. She looks forward to continuing to serve as a member of the board. I ask for your support of her reappointment.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0338, authorizing a tender agreement among the Ohio Department of Transportation, Merchants Bonding Company, Perk Company, Inc., and the county, and authorizing an amendment to a contract for the rehabilitation of existing St. Clair Avenue Bridge number 04.44 over Doan Brook in the city of Cleveland to increase the dollar amount from $1,976,777.57 to an amount not to exceed $3,842,807.95, and authorizing the assignment of said contract to Perk Company, Inc.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, Tom Sotek presented this item in committee. The amended agreement is for the rehabilitation of St. Clair Avenue Bridge over Doan Brook in the city of Cleveland, which is in District 7. 6 bids were received, and PERC was the lowest bid. The 9% DBE goal was met. The award was originally provided to Chagrin Valley Paving in 2021, who unfortunately did not complete the work and went out of business. The default will not result in any additional costs for the county and is covered by the bond insurance. The new contractor expects the project to be completed by next summer. The services are funded by 41% federal funds, 10% road and bridge funds, and 49% insurance recovery. I urge my colleagues to support this.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0330, making an award on requisition 14580 to Fabrizi Recycling, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $4,959,475 for the 2024 sewer repair program for various county sewer districts for a period of 2 years, effective upon contract signature of all parties.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, properly moved by myself, seconded by Councilman Sweeney. Is there any discussion on the item? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0341, making awards to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $800,000 for trauma-informed respite and youth care center services for the period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2026 for the vendors A through C.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was heard in committee. This is for our friends at the juvenile court. Provide services for youth that find themselves in unfortunate trauma situations that many of us are lucky not to ever experience. So recommendation is adoption.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0342, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the City of Cleveland, Cleveland Municipal Court, in the amount not to exceed $2,581,820 for legal services for indigent persons for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was also heard in committee, and recommendation is to adopt.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0343, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to Skills Employment and Training Services for the period October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2025, to make budget line item revisions and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $1,257,500, effective October 1st, 2024.
Move to adopt.
Second.
To my colleagues, and this is a needed program to move county residents forward. The following agencies that are listed has been good partners and stewards, so I ask for your support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0344, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Catholic Charities Corporation for success coaching services for eligible Ohio Works First applicants and management of the incentive payment system in connection with the Benefit Bridge pilot program for the period March 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2025, to make budget line item revisions and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,870,000, effective July 1st, 2024.
Move to adopt. Second. Mr. Chair, I ask my colleagues for their support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0345, making awards on requisition 14523 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $1,575,000 for emergency assistance services for the period September 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2025 for various providers A through E.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Chair, again, these are needed emergency services. All of the Vendors have been vetted and went through a bidding process. I ask for my colleagues' support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Committee reports and consideration of ordinances for second reading.
Ordinance 2024-0009, amending sections 106.04, 701.07, 714.01, and 714.02, and chapters 807 and 809 of the County Code to properly align the roles and responsibilities of the Department of Housing and Community Development and the Department of Development.
Now, this item will move to the October 8th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Ordinance 2024-0010, amending Section 303.01C of the Cuyahoga County Code of Codified Ordinances.
And this item will also move to the October 8th, 2024 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. At this time, we will entertain our miscellaneous committee reports.
Mr. President
Councilman Miller.
and my colleagues, there will be no Finance and Budgeting Committee between now and the next council meeting. Thank you.
Mr. President, there will neither be a Public Works Committee meeting either.
Mr. President, safety, Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if I have a presentation, but I don't have any legislation, so we'll stay posted. We'll stay tuned to that.
Human Resources will meet to discuss the remote work policy.
I don't believe there are any community development issues.
Yes, you do have.
I have.
You have two items. They're ARPA items. The first one was the B-Buzz Baseball League, and the second one is to authorize the City of Richmond Heights. And then you had an item that was held at the last committee meeting. It was an ARPA item as well.
Oh, I'll have to follow up then. We'll see whether there is an urgent need.
Okay.
Sustainability, we have a referral for a director of sustainability to our meeting on Wednesday at 3.
All right. And of course, we have our committee of the whole meeting October 8th. All right. So if that's the end of our committee reports, is there any miscellaneous business?
Yes, Mr. Chair. There will be a tour with Councilman Casey, City of Cleveland, Councilman on Thursday, 9/26 at 9 a.m. A tour with the Office of Homeless Services and stopping at some of our various sites that either the county has solely or the City of Cleveland as well, based on a request of just media coverage and just relations to let the City of Cleveland council members know that we actually do work very hard over here for our continuum of care for the homeless population.
Right. Any other miscellaneous business?
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman?
Just like Vice President Stevens had a vision and started with an idea and concept, and sometimes you hope and you dream where it's going to go. This is one in which I had my fellow colleague over there, Ms. Sonny Simon, support me on this vision of the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival. It will be the week of October, I think, 2nd. So if you want to see some phenomenal films, come to see that. But I'm here to tell you, be prepared for the one on October 4th and October 5th, because it will be gut-wrenching. It is a movie called Inheritance, and it talks about fentanyl and opiate problems down along the Ohio River and what it took and all the family and all the background and everything in regards to that movie. During the course of that, they also asked, could the Opiate Innovation Fund play a role in that movie? And of course, I said absolutely yes. We would be there as a podium and a background for the event. So on both Friday at 3 o'clock and Saturday, there'll be 2 panel discussions talking about what's going on I know my colleagues, I appreciate your support when they asked what's innovation, and I couldn't give you an answer because innovation is a concept that comes from a need. Inheritance will tell you the need. There will be no doubt where it is if you can sit through the movie, it is tough. But I want to tell you what's going to take place in that program, because we have been meeting for about a year and a quarter now, the Opiate Innovation Fund, with the head of innovation from the Cleveland Clinic, head of innovation from UH, Metro, the Veterans Hospital, the head of Stella Mar, the president of Stella Mar, Daniel Littenberg-Klein, and he will be on the panel on Saturday. And just out of the blue, received a telephone call from a group out of New England, and they said they had this idea about creating a vaccine to stop fentanyl, not allowing it to get to your brain. They will be on the panel both on Friday and Saturday. I can't tell you whether it's going to get resolved, but their next step is a 2,000-person test panel of moving from lab into actual real tests. I strongly suggested it should take place in Cleveland, Ohio, of course, where there's no better hospital system. And so the investors on that is just one of the ideas, but I would love for you to come and hear what's being said about how this goes about. This is game-changing. If you could invent a vaccine that stops the impact of fentanyl from going to the brain and the lives that would be saved by that. And so I can't sit here and tell you that that will be something that the Opiate Innovation Fund will invest in, but I can tell you that the Cleveland Foundation is doing a phenomenal job, the best talent, and I hope and pray that this body that supported this crazy-ass idea, if we could save even one life as a result of this, this is what innovation is all about out there. And so if you can imagine, I've got folks involved with the police and fire. If they touch fentanyl, it can kill them. If the fireman touches fentanyl, it can kill them. And so this is what this vaccine is aimed at. If you want to be part of seeing what your legacy has done, please come to the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival on the 4th, on Friday, or the 5th. I'll make sure you all get tickets, and to hear either one of the panels. The one on Friday won't be as good because I'm on that panel, but the one on Saturday will be the president of Stella Mar will be there out there. So this is when I know that your impact as far as changing banking, I hope that this county can make that same impact, because I really believe that we will be, from the opiate crisis capital, we will be the opiate solution capital. And if this is, we have multiple ones that are being suggested. We're not ready to fund because we need to now get to the next level of funding. But that's where we are. And I think we'll actually probably be announcing our first full-time employee of the Opiate Innovation Fund to go out and actually do fundraising and do all the things that we need to start doing all the analysis. So I encourage you all to come on either Friday or Saturday. Thanks.
All right, thank you for that, Councilman. Thank you for that.
Mr. President,
yes,
just
Councilman?
to correction, the Sustainability Director goes to Committee of the Whole, so there won't be a meeting on Wednesday.
Okay, all right. Any further miscellaneous business? If not, if nothing else holds our attention, our meeting is now adjourned.